Hello and welcome to the Department of Deportation podcast, the DEPODcast, where you can get all your latest news on immigration, the border, and deportations. Don't forget to visit departmentofdeportation.com for all your latest news and merch. On this episode, it's a deportation flight-a-palooza, and we'll see repatriation flights headed back to Panama, Guatemala, India, and we see our first arrivals at Guantanamo Bay, where they might be staying for a few days or a few decades. So, first up we have Panama, which, as you can see in these clips, Marco Rubio was visiting, and he's our new Secretary of State. It's one of his first trips outside the country, and it was nice to see him in Panama. He wasn't there but very long, and they had already agreed to give up on some of the Chinese Silk Road Initiative, and to kick the Chinese out of the canal administration. They are also agreeing to give the U.S. favorable treatment again, such as discounted rates and not charging our government ships to pass through. Plus, as you can see in these clips, they're taking repatriation flights. That's right, they're getting deported all the way back to Panama. So it joins the list of countries that the U.S. has gotten to agree to take back their citizens. Next up is Guatemala, who has actually been taking deportation flights already, and as we'll see in one of the clips here in Spanish, if you're an illegal and you get caught, they're going to put you on a deportation flight back to your country of origin ASAP.
La patrulla fronteriza utiliza los recursos necesarios y disponibles para deportar personas que han entrado ilegalmente a los Estados Unidos. Nosotros vamos a utilizar todos los recursos necesarios que nos permitan de manera rápida expulsar personas a su país.
And as you'll see in our next clip, India is on the list of countries that are taking back their citizens.
Is deporting migrants to India, a U.S. official said on Monday, the farthest destination of the Trump administration's military transport flights for migrants. President Donald Trump has increasingly turned to the military to help carry out his immigration agenda, including sending additional troops to the U.S.-Mexico border using military aircraft to deport migrants and opening military bases to house them. The official, speaking on the condition of anonymity, said the C-17 aircraft had departed for India with migrants aboard but would not arrive for at least 24 hours. The Pentagon has also started providing flights to deport more than 5,000 immigrants held by U.S. authorities in El Paso, Texas, and San Diego, California. So far, military aircraft have flown migrants to Guatemala, Peru, and Honduras. Earlier, MEA had said that India will accept back illegal Indians living anywhere in the world.
India, we have made this clear earlier as well. We are against illegal immigration, especially because it is linked to several forms of organized crime. For Indians, not just in the United States, but anywhere in the world, if they are Indian nationals and they are overstaying or they are in a particular country without proper documentation, we will take them back, provided documents are shared with us so that we can verify their nationality, that they are indeed Indians.
In our final clip, we'll see that flights have started to Guantanamo Bay, where the worst of the worst are going. First up, we have 10 members of Tren de Aragua who arrived there, and they're going to be housed immediately. They're also building tents for up to 1,000 other of the illegals.
The White House has confirmed the arrival of the first deportation flights from the U.S. at Guantanamo Bay. The administration acknowledged yesterday that the first plane carrying migrants from the U.S. mainland had touched down at the infamous detention facility. The plan calls for as many as 30,000 people to be sent there. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson joins us now to talk about it. So, Ellie, you just got back from a trip to Guantanamo Bay yourself. What did you see? What are you hearing about the president's plan to hold 30,000 people there? Just explain how it would work. I mean, would you be there indefinitely? Like, is it just a holding area before you get on to your next destination? What's the plan?
Yeah, well, Guantanamo Bay, though it may have the physical space to hold the migrants that President Trump is proposing, it's going to take a lot of time and probably a lot of money to build the infrastructure to hold them humanely. The flight last night contained just about 10 detainees. They were considered high threat by the U.S. government, so they're going to go into an already existing secure detention facility. They'll be separate from the 15 detainees that are still held there as war on terror prisoners, but these new 10 detainees will still be held in cells. Now, on the other side of the island, there is a migrant, or the other side of the base, there is a migrant operations center that has held migrants in the past. But as of early last week, officials I spoke to said that that center only had the capacity for about 100 to 150 beds. Now, over the weekend, the Pentagon did send about 300 Marines to start building up tents to provide additional capacity. As of yesterday, those Marines had built about tents to hold about 1,000 migrants.
So, I don't know how her math is adding up, but if 300 Marines already built 1,000, then it's only going to take them a month to build all the rest of that out and be able to house 30,000. Then we'll have flights going to there, and we'll relieve some of this prison and jail overcrowding. As always, we'd like to remind everyone that we fully support legal immigration, and we want to see everybody from every country that's here illegally get kicked back, no matter where they're from. As you saw now, even India can get it. Well, that concludes this episode. Don't forget to visit deportation.com if you like that shirt in the background, or if you want to see any of our other merch. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels and to like the video. We're on YouTube, Rumble as Department of Deportation, all spelled out as one word, and we're on X as Department of Deportation.